two, one. Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Relentless Talk Radio. Of course, I forgot to change my segment copy, so let me go ahead and do that while we're talking here in a second. Okay. I love doing things real time. Isn't it fun? So today is episode 57. This is the health and fitness episode, and I'm talking with Stephanie Blackbird. I want to say Black Men, but it's Bird. Bad me. And I just want to give you a little heads up about our sponsors for today. Our sponsors are Muscular Moving Men, which is muscularmovingmen.com. If you have to move around town or across the country, Muscular Moving Men, highly recommend them. I've used them personally and definitely shouting them out on purpose. And then Photos by Elena and Jim. They're a member of the Relentless Business Alliance. And if you're looking for some really great photographs, period, but especially if you're doing an event, go to photosbyelenandjim.com and let them know that Michelle sent you at Relentless Talk Radio. All right, so here's my friend Stephanie. I'm super excited about talking with her today. And so Stephanie, tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Well, wow, there's so much to tell.
I know.
So
you're a rock star.
My name is Stephanie Blackbird, not Black Men. That's a cool last name. We got to get it right, you know.
I know, right? Jeez.
I always tease my husband. It's half the reason I married him was the cool last name. So
Blackbird is his last name. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I've had many careers, including film and television and different things. And I've always had this belief that everyone deserves to live in a healthy, vibrant body and to own their life. And I finally, in my 40s, was able to kind of marry my belief and my passion and my profession. And I now run a global distribution business online from home with gold standard nutrition products. And I help other people do the same if they have an interest in doing so.
You know, I love the way you said all of that. I mean, you really kind of, you tie your why right into what it is that you're doing right from the gate. And I really love that. We're going to talk a little bit more about the why part of what you do later on in the interview. But so I guess I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the why now, but your personal why. You know, why do you do what you do?
Well, it really does tie to that belief. And
yeah,
my nickname back in the 80s was Granola Mama. I've always for health and wellness. I think I was the food babe before the food babe was the food babe. You know what I mean? Way ahead of
right.
I was juicing and making almond milk and sprouting sprouts back in the 80s. And everyone thought I was absolutely nuts to do that. And I don't know how to turn my notifications off, so I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Anyway, but I knew that I didn't want to be like a nutritionist and tell people to eat by the food pyramid and all that. I didn't know what it looked like. And
right.
So I was in banking, I was in oil and gas, I was in the restaurant business, I worked in hotels, I had so many careers, and I used to really think something's wrong with me because I don't seem to last anywhere very long. And then I went into film and television. I think the reason I lasted so long there is because I freelanced. So I went from project to project, film to film, commercial to commercial, and I got to work back in Europe. I'm originally from Prague, from the Czech Republic. So that was fantastic. And then there came a point where I had this, and the reason I went into film and television, I wanted to be a documentary filmmaker and to expose all the injustices of the world, right? Strap a backpack on and off I go. Well, the problem was I was at that point ended up divorced, single mom of a toddler, and it's a little hard to do that. And then what I realized after film school, that documentary filmmaker is preceded by the word starving most of the time. And I just couldn't do that when I had a little child.
Right.
So I freelanced, and I realized after about 13, 14 years, I started to feel like, what am I doing? Like, what contribution am I making to this planet? I was spending 60 or 70 hours of work a week working with people. I realized I wouldn't even have to my home for dinner on the weekend. And my soul was starving for more, something. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to make an impact. I wanted to be more, do more, and have more than I was able to have with that lifestyle. And I did get introduced to network marketing, which I was very like, nope.
Right.
That's only for people who can't get a real job. I have a real job. But I actually ended up working for a health and wellness company corporately. I thought, okay, to get out of film, I'll go work in wellness, corporate America, that's the thing. Well, it wasn't. It wasn't the thing. Corporate America.
It's still corporate America.
And you know what? It's great that people, I'm just not that, I'm too much of a free spirit. I'm too much of a,
Right.
I can't stand the rigidness of having to be somewhere at a certain time and have to ask to go for lunch. It just wasn't for me, not to criticize
Right.
at all. Great. I'm so grateful so many people do choose to do that. But because I was on the inside with this network marketing company, I actually, and that's where I met Papa Jimmy originally, way back then. um, I was able to open my mind enough to look. And I understood residual income from TV and film. I thought that was amazing. The idea of having a residual income, I loved. And I knew, well, I'm not going to write a best selling TV series. So how am I going to get it? So I understood that. And I started to understand that all it is, it's a different method of distribution. It's direct, I knew how much money was spent on advertising. I know how much money, what percentage of the price of that box of Tide to get you to buy it. So I started to study the industry, and I started to study compensation plans and, what would my perfect company look like? And it took me quite a while to find the one, but so that's kind of how it all came about. And then I realized, health and wellness, and I didn't have to go become a nutritionist. And I now bless thousands and thousands of lives. We have an incredible team of just under 15,000 people, and I love what I do. I am so humbled and grateful that I get to help people live into their best life.
You have a team of 15 flipping thousand people.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's really, really, really amazing.
Yeah. And
so what do you think the biggest lesson you've learned? Because I don't know, network marketing gets a bad rap, but I think we're all network marketers. I mean, I always joke, I wish that I got a stipend every time I sent someone to Mastro's, which if you're from back east is a very expensive, ridiculously expensive. You get $150 steak there. It's really yummy, but it's expensive. So I mean, I've sold a lot of those steaks. Mastro's never throws me a spiff. I tell people to go to gyms. It's just this year I really looked at how many people I was referring to different things. And I thought, I think I need to monetize that.
Yeah.
It was part of the reason why I started Relentless Talk Radio. So what do you think the biggest lesson that you've learned in business? What is it?
Oh my goodness. So many. The biggest one, first of all, I would say the biggest thing is that if anybody who's listening, if you have some weird notion about what network marketing is or isn't, educate yourself, open your mind up, because I did. I thought it was for desperate people, last resort, and it's so not that. And we come from all walks of life. And the business part of it is I didn't mention this. I tried to start several traditional businesses, like a construction cleaning or whatever. I just so wanted my own business. But the headaches that come with all of that, and I told my friends, I said, okay, here's what I would love to start: some sort of business that has no overhead. I don't want to have employees. I don't want to have to do payroll. I don't like bookkeeping. I don't like, and everyone looked at me like I was absolutely wackadoodle. Like, that doesn't exist, but it does exist. And marketing direct sales is that. I think it's the most fair and equitable business model on the planet. It's such an equalizer. Someone can get started for a minimal investment. Like, most of the time you get to eat your overhead. In our company, you get to eat your overhead. And I've been able to create I retired myself from film and television. I retired my husband from working for the state of Utah. And we just get to live a life of freedom and choice. Now, we work. I'm not retired. I'm retired from that. I don't sit around eating bonbons and collecting checks every week, but it's fun. It doesn't feel like work to me.
So is that the lesson you've learned, like not to leave your mind open to new possibilities?
I would say that's probably, yeah, I would think that would be a huge lesson. It's just being open-minded, and being open-minded to also how it happens, because the journey is, for me, I'll speak for myself, the journey is never what I expect it to be. It takes
100%
turns, and the most beautiful gifts sometimes come in the most unexpected packages. So just be open and believe that whatever you desire is possible if you're willing to pay the price for it. You really can. And
100%.
how many of us have, the dreams are put on the back burner because we're busy being moms, busy with this, busy with that. And then all our stuff is stuffed away somewhere. And especially as women, I feel like we really start to put ourselves last instead of first. And I used to think it was really selfish to put myself first. Now I realize it's the greatest gift I can give to everyone else around me. It's because when I'm happy and I'm fired up and I'm feeling good and I've done my meditation and I've done my miracle morning, life around me is much more pleasant for everyone else, right?
I also think that one of the reasons why I started Relentless Talk Radio is people would say, Michelle, you get so much done. How do you do that? And I'm like, well, I'm going to start sharing how I do it. Even today as an example of, I had 2 people lined up for the show, and I put out a message on a stream and said, who can meet me at 2:30 on Relentless Talk Radio? Like we had like literally 30 seconds to like prepare for this interview. And that's what, you just have to keep on making stuff happen. You can't say, oh, people canceled, that's it, I'm not doing the show today, because then you don't have consistency and no one's going to show up. So I think one of my last videos got 1,300 views within 4 hours.
That's amazing.
And it's because I'm being consistent. So no matter what I have to do, I find a way to get it done. And I think that, I decided to start sharing that because people think that it just happens naturally. It doesn't. I'm learning stuff like literally on the show, like while I'm doing it. It's just the way it goes. So one of the things I've really been thinking a lot about, and I didn't realize it until I looked at you and I looked at Carol, and I thought, what's a topic both of these girls could talk about? And it's never too late to start something new. So you were in radio for television and movies, right?
Yeah.
And film for 14 years, right? You could have stayed doing that for the rest of your life and probably made a really good living and had an exciting life.
Yeah.
But you decided that you really needed to do something new. So your whole story is actually an example of that's never too late to do something new. But what do you think about the topic? Like, what does that idea bring up for you?
I think it's absolutely brilliant. And so many times we say, oh, I'm too old, or I'm too whatever, fill in the blank. You're
right.
Young, too old, too heavy, too whatever. It's never too late. And I am absolutely living proof, because I really didn't start this business till I was 46, 47. I'm 60 now. And a year and a half ago, I launched something brand new, and it's called Up Cards Affirmations for Life. And they're beautiful hand illustrated affirmation cards geared to ages 0 to 5 and everyone's inner child. And that's something, it was an idea that downloaded to me. I wasn't looking to start a business. I wasn't looking to do something. It just literally downloaded into my body, and I had to do it. And I had read The Big Magic. Have you read The Big Magic?
No, I'm taking notes. I love that.
Elizabeth Gilbert. And I've always said ideas are out there for whoever decides to pluck them. And she said it so beautifully. She said, ideas are all around us, and they are looking for a human to give birth to them.
100%.
It'll tap you on the shoulder, and some ideas will stick around tapping you for quite a while, but they'll eventually go look for another human. And I've been an idea person my whole life, but that one, I knew I had to be the human to birth it. It just, the very next morning I woke up, and I said in my kitchen to my husband, I said, I have to find a European illustrator for these cards, this idea, because they have such a different aesthetic. I manage a big Facebook group, The Miracle Morning. If you haven't read that book, it's fabulous, by Hal Elrod. And the first post I see when I go in to manage the group is, hey, I'm from Italy, and I'm starting to do my children's illustrations again as part of my Miracle Morning. And I saw the picture and I just got chills. I said, oh, that's the one.
That's it.
And it just came together, and then there were all kinds of things I hadn't thought of, and I had no idea how to do a printing and packaging and all that. But they're birthed, and
it's never too late to learn something new. I mean, you just go ahead and you start asking questions and you figure it out, right? Like people say, Michelle, how did you start doing the podcast? Like, do you have a fancy equipment? I'm like, well, first of all, I started on the internet radio, and then I decided to do it on Facebook Live because I wanted to keep control, because we want that. And now it goes to YouTube, and this year it's going to go to podcast. So I know the podcast tool I'm going to be using, but I don't know all the details yet. And that's one of the things I've learned over time, is that in 6 businesses, 53 years old, I've done a lot of stuff. you're literally, as soon as you learn all the details of one thing, it's going to change anyway. So just get used to get comfortable being uncomfortable like all the time.
Yeah.
And then once you accept that, then newness is just a way of life. It's not a boredom. People say, oh my God, I'm so bored. I'm like, wow, what's that like?
What?
I don't even know what that's like. I don't know. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? Doesn't make any sense. Like before, so one of the things that we talked about before, and we have a couple minutes before I run and I get Carol, we talked about leading with your why, because both you and I do a bunch of different stuff. And so this year I thought, well, what am I going to say when people say, what do you do? And so what I say, and I really looked at everything I was doing and everything I have done in my life, everything I want to do, is that I lift up and encourage others to discover their best. Like I took even out of the inspiration, I don't inspire people. I just lift them up and encourage them. And then you take that information and figure out what you're going to do with it. Throw away what doesn't work and keep what, you're going to discover maybe from something that was said today that you're like, oh yeah, I had this idea to do a book. I should just go do it, Oh, I mean, so for me, discover is like a big part of the mission for me. So for you, you said it earlier on in the interview, you're leading with your why too, which is,
I believe everyone deserves to live in a healthy, vibrant body and to own their life. And the other thing that drives me, and this took me 4 days at a seminar to realize, it was through Peak Potentials. And we had to, the first day they said, okay, so what's your big mission in life? And I thought, okay, well, I want to make the world healthier. Okay, that's it. So we're supposed to draw it. And then the next day I was like, yeah, but it's more than that. I want to help parents be better parents. Yeah, that's it. And I drew that. And the next day I was like, no, but it's more than that. I want to save animals. I want to save the planet. And then I finally came down to it. And I felt so arrogant at first saying it, but it's really my heart is I want to help make the world a better place. Whether that's picking up the trash when I'm walking my dog, whether that's
100%.
somebody be a better mom because I help them get their energy, like whatever that is, every day I want to do something that makes the world a better place.
See, that's awesome. And I think that, when I'm sure this happened to you when you're in this seminar, when I could just say, oh, I lift up and encourage others to discover their best. I was like, oh, okay, great. Everything I do is siphoned through that mission right there. And I no longer say, I'm a radio talk show host, or I'm a painter, or I'm a personal trainer, or I'm a health coach, or I'm like, well, I'm all those things. People used to say, Michelle, pick one thing. And I'm like, this is my one thing.
I love that.
I'm a Renaissance person. I'm a painter. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an athlete. I'm a health coach. I'm a chick. I'm a biker. I'm all of those things. And I think everyone is that, so I love that we figured out that how to lead with our why. It's so important. When Simon Sinek did that, the why TED talk, which I've listened to a bazillion times. It's awesome. I saw him in person at ASU. Awesome. So you have a group called Focus on You in February. And I just love that. All the F's in there. Taking that word to a whole different level. Focus on You in February. It's a pop-up group on Facebook. How can people find it and join it to get inspired by you in February?
Can you see I like F words?
I totally dig the F word. I say flippin'. I try to catch myself on because I don't want to get caught have the F word keep me off of a podcast somewhere. But I try really hard, but I have a mouth like a sailor personally.
So this is a little pop-up group just for February, and we're really going to focus on just little things that can help you feel better, live better, whether it's you want to add meditation, whether you want to drink more water, whatever, like one little tweak you can make in your life. It's just a pop-up group, and it is called Focus on You February. If you go to my profile, Stephanie Blackbird, or just search Focus on You February on Facebook, you will find the group and ask to join, and we'd love to have you.
All right. Well, that's awesome. So you're right now, the link is not hot in the comments, but will be shortly afterwards. If you just click on the link that's in the comments for this live post to Stephanie Blackbird, not Black Man, Blackbird, and you can go check out Focus on You in February. And then, if you want to work with Stephanie in other ways, and reach out to her on Messenger and say, hey, I kind of dig what you're laying down. How do I pick it up?
I love it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, come on, just like reach out to Stephanie and she'll help you. And so that's our story today on Relentless Talk Radio, and we're sticking to it. So I really want to thank you for just jumping on. We hadn't even met. Oh, I did notice you this week because you hit a really big milestone in our company. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I love, and you did a live video from stage, and I just thought that was flipping awesome. So there you go, flipping. It was flipping awesome.
That was
congratulations. I'm really super proud of you.
Thank you.
And I hope to be on the stage with you in July, and we can do some jumping jacks up there.
How about you intend, not hope? Intend.
Well, good point. Thank you for catching me. Thank you. I will be. Okay. I don't want people always accuse me of having too healthy of an ego. And I'm like, God, if you're only in here, you know that's not always the truth. But you know what? Yeah. I mean, everybody deserves to reach their goals. And I'm definitely including myself in that.
I'll be high-fiving you all the way across that stage, girl.
100%. I laughed and I was like, wow, what a cool flipping video. I don't even know how I came across it. And you know what's really funny? I saw the video on Sunday, and I think I liked it or commented on it. And then today when I put out a message like, hey, I had 2 cancellations, who's going to step up? And you were like, me. I'm like, how cool is that? I wanted to meet her anyway. So I get to do it live on Relentless Talk Radio. So thanks so much, Stephanie, for being a rock star. I really appreciate it. Congratulations again. And I look forward to seeing you in person again.
Oh, happy to help. Yes, it'll be great. Thank you for having me. And this wasn't nearly as scary as I thought it would be.
See, there you go. It's just a conversation. And you look fantastic. And you match your background, which is even better. I just love that.
I'm gonna wear red.
You must have been in film and radio, or film and television. But you're matching it. It's awesome. All right, sister. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, Michelle.
Well, that is the end of segment 2 for Relentless Talk Radio. I'm going to mention my sponsors again here one more time. Muscular Movie Men here in Phoenix, but if you want to move around town or across the world, you can go to muscularmoviemen.com. And if you're looking for some amazing photography, reach out to Jim and Elena at photosbyelenaandjim.com. Okay, I'm going to sign out of here, and I am going to go pick up Carol Mickey. She's a fashion designer. I'm super excited about her. She's her brand is Milo's Design. We've been talking for months. I cannot wait to talk with her. And so I'm going to sign out of here for a couple minutes and be right back.